Hello guys, this is group 175 and today we are going to show our final project. It's about gas price in the Brazil. So our analysis is based on a data set that record fuel price information across the Brazilian region and state from the 2004 to 2021. So in the next few minutes, I just walk through our data and research question, dashboard, finding, and conclusion. So for this slide, is our struggle of the presentation. So first of all, we will introduce our data set. Then we will talk about more about our research question. After that, we'll go through the three dashboard, and each dashboard is designed to answer the key question. So finally, we will summarize the finding at the end. And this is about our data overview. So our data set record gas price in Brazil is from the 2004 May to 2021 April. So it's mainly contain the first one is the start and end date of the each price period, and second one the region and the Brazilian states and the types of the fuel products, and also a number of the gas station service as well. And the last two part is about like retail price and wholesale price and margin analysis. And finally, we will have the distribution statistic as the minimum, maximum, and the mean and standard deviation and a variation coefficient. And this rich data sets allow us to analyze both price the trend over time and differences between the region and the fuel types. And here's our research questions. So there are gonna like three question list of the graph. So first of all is the how has the gas price in Brazil changed over the year, and where are the most expensive? And second one, the retail versus like wholesale is how big is the price gap, and how does it change? And the last one is the ethanol versus the gasoline. So where's the ethanol more and cost effective? So I will show like each dashboard will design directly correspond to the one of the question. So about like description of the dashboard A. So to answer that, the dashboard A is we just divided into like three main parts. So first, we have a line chart showing that the changing trend of the fuel price in the top 10 Brazilian cities over time. So secondly, we have the Brazil maps where the darker blue means higher retail price. So thirdly, like we have the histogram showing the top 10 cities with the highest retail price. So when you click on one city, the dashboard will just show like directly detailed information about that. So we can also like choose the specific fuel types and weeks using the filter and analyze more precise data. And you guys can see the graph. So looking at the line chart, we can clearly observe like how gas the price change over time. So overall, like Brazilian gas price show the general upward trend, and the price will be like move quite consistently across the different city, which means that the market behavior in the relatively unified way. So, however, there are two special periods worth the mentioning. So, look at the graph. You guys can easily to see that around August to the September 2015, the price suddenly increased significant and showing a large upward jump. And about like around August 2020, there a sharp and a sudden drop in price, almost like cliff. So this drop stopped like around October 2020. So which we can observe easily to see that this dramatic movement suggest that the strong macroeconomic influences such as policy changes and market shocks or external global economic events. And for the next question is it mainly consistent like where are the most expensive? So here are two graphs right here. It's about like histogram and a map. So when we set a specific like way, when you click that like such as the 2021 May 1st, the histogram will be automatically ranked to the top 10 most expensive state in the descending order. So for example, when we choose a week, the Tocantins appear with like as a state with the highest retail price. And the dashboard will help us clearly just identify which state experience higher fuel price pressure. And it also highlights geographic price differences across the Brazil. And now, like, let's we move to the dashboard B. So which focus on our second research question. So in this dashboard, we mainly like separate price into the retail price and the wholesale price. So we're using the line chart to compare their movement over time and minimize the gap between them. We also use the histogram and as a filter to display the top 10 state with the highest combined retail and wholesale prices. So when we just like the state, the map will be looked at into the state, and another line chart appears showing that the retail wholesale margin. And lastly, we also display the number of the gas station in that state in the scatter plot. And for this slide, you can see the two line chart and the bar chart. There are the questions like how big is the gap in retail versus wholesale, and you can see that retail price are always above like a whole price, and which makes sense because the retailer must include the transportation cost, operation cost, and the profit margin. So, but what is the more interesting set? What is the more interesting is that so after like 2016, the gap between the retail and the wholesale price just become like even bigger. So this indicates that the either retail margin increased or the market condition changed to widen the price differences. So when we're using the state filter, we can see easily like how retail versus wholesale situation changes for the each individual state. So which will like providing us a more localized understanding of the pricing behavior. So for this part, it's mainly like important in our like project. It's about like margin analysis. So I'm gonna like go through like specific focus on the margin analysis and in detail. So we just calculate like the retail margin minus like wholesale margin, then just display as a line curve finally. And this shows just like how the margin for the selected state changes over time. So this is very useful. So because like you guys can watch that the three graph. So if the margin increase, it may indicate stronger retail pricing, the power, and or maybe the higher distribution cost. So, and also the if the margin decrease, it may reflect the competition, regulation, or cost stabilization. So go through like the dashboard. We can track the profitability and the pricing struggle dynamically. Okay, so let's move on to the description of our like dashboard C. So this is the last part. So the dashboard C is designed to the our like third question. So the third question like where the ethanol more cost effective than the gasoline. So here we're just using the calculation like cost effectiveness ratio to equal like ethanol price to like gasoline price. So if the ratio is below 0.7, the ethanol is considered more like cost effective. So if the dashboard, we just first select the time period, then the histogram ranks state will just by the cost effectivenesses, and the map will show how many states fall below the 0.7. Okay, so let's look at like example in detail. So when we select to the week 2005 like January 29th, so we can see that the seven state have the cost effectiveness ratio below the 0.7. So which means that the ethanol was significantly cheaper and more attractively to consumer in those that are in region. So this dashboard like maybe just help us like I think it's mainly identify when ethanol become the economically advantageous, and the second one is see which states benefit more from the ethanol pricing, and the last one is understand how alternative fuel competitiveness and change over time. So this is all mainly like our final project is mainly about, and so for the conclusion, we just say that we conclude that the gas price in the Brazil generally increased over time. So with strong fluctuations, such as the sharp the increase in 2015 and the steep drop in the 2020. And second, the mainly point is that retail price is always higher than wholesale prices as the gap between them become the larger after the 2016. And finally, the ethanol is the most cost effective in a certain state when the ethanol to gasoline ratio is below the 0.7. which will provide strong incentive for the ethanol consumption. So this all three dashboard is help us clearly to visualize the price trend and region differences and also the cost effectiveness in Brazil, like the fuel market. So thank you guys